Shan. What did you do on the weekend?
I decided to research Enron.
No way, I did as well. What did you get up to on the weekend, Alba?
I did it as well.
Wait, did you guys say Enron?
Yeah, it was really interesting how it went bankrupt practically overnight.
Yeah, before the events of 2001, wasn't Enron Corporation one of the largest integrated national gas and electricity companies in the world?
Yeah, you're right, Anthony. It was rated as the most innovative large company in America. It was founded way back in 1930 as Northern Natural Gas Company, and it wasn't up until 1985 when they merged with Houston Natural Gas Corporation. This merger resulted in Enron being founded in 1986 by Kenneth Lake.
Yeah, he was the chairman of the Enron Corporation. He helped initiate the sale of electricity at market prices, where soon after the USA Congress approved legislation which deregulated the sales of natural gas. This resulted in Enron being able to sell their energy at much higher prices, which significantly increased their revenues.
When you say significantly increasing revenue, how much are you referring to?
Well, about through the years from 1998 to 2000, Enron stock increased by 311%, 56% and 87% in those years respectively. And by the end of 2000, Enron stock was worth 70 times its earnings and 6 times its book value.
Yeah, but then everything went downhill for Enron in 2001. In August 2001, the CEO Jeffrey Skilling resigned for undisclosed reasons after selling a large portion of his shares in the corporation. And then in October, Enron reported its first loss of the quarter in 4 years. After this, Enron filed for bankruptcy.
Can you guys believe that happened? It's unbelievable.
Well, there are actually many reasons that are attributed to Enron's downfall, mainly stemming from the misrepresentation of financial reports. Add in a group of determined managers with a profound ability for hiding detrimental information, and a chairman who's willing to turn a blind eye to the whole situation, and you have a recipe for unethical practices.
Yeah, I thought Lay would have prevented that sort of conduct in his company.
Lay was suspicious of misrepresentation. However, because he struggled with approaching conflict and was so wrapped up in the infamous success of his company, he decided to turn a blind eye. Surely it wasn't just Lay that was acting unethically.
That's right, Arbel. One of the major contributors to the Enron scandal was a man named Jeffrey Skilling. He was promoted from the COO to the CEO, where Skilling adopted a mark-to-market accounting system into Enron, which is where the assets and liabilities are valued at their fair value or market prices rather than their historical cost.
But not all things can be valued at fair value. Some assets and liabilities can be too complex to adopt such a valuation system.
Exactly. This meant that the income of conflicts, long-term contracts were estimated rather than valued at cost price. Often, the viability of these contracts and their related costs were difficult to estimate due to the large discrepancies of attempting to match profits and cash. The investors were typically given false or misleading reports. But how can all this happen where there are people employed that are supposed to be on top of all this, such as the CFO?
Well, you are right. The CFO is supposed to be on top of this kind of thing. Only problem for Enron was their CFO was Andrew Fastow. It was his mismanagement of several key Enron partnerships that led to the loss of more than $500 million in the quarter. As Skilling wanted an asset-light company that could rigorously exploit the deregulating markets for energy and water amongst others, Fastow created hundreds of special-purpose entities which were designed to transfer Enron's debt off the books and onto an outside company.
Fastow was as guilty as anyone in the Enron debacle. He, along with Skilling and Lay, were key members behind the intricate web of balance sheet special purpose entities that were created in an attempt to hide the huge losses incurred by Enron.
But a company that was that big would have external auditors. Why didn't they pick up on the discrepancies in Enron's reports?
Well, Enron's external audits were conducted by one of the big five accounting firms at the time, Arthur Andersen. Andersen auditors worked in very close proximity with Enron. They had permanent office space at Enron, went to lunchtime parties, and even went on ski trips with other employees. That shows that there was a lack of professional skepticism as they worked so closely with Enron employees.
On top of that, Arthur Andersen earned 25 mil in audit fees and 27 mil in consulting fees in the year 2000, making Enron one of their biggest clients. It's easy to see why Andersen would have been biased when dealing with Enron's financial reports.
Well, the whole thing unraveled as a result of an article written in Fortune by Beth McLean in March of 2001. After doing some research on the company, McLean reported a series of concerning findings from the energy company, including strange transactions and huge debt.
Yeah, it was McLean's finding of potential financial misrepresentation which caught the attention of those in the financial community, commencing Enron's downward spiral. From here, investigations on the highly successful company continue with suspicion growing exponentially.
Investors, aware of the decline in confidence in Enron, reciprocated this concern, and Enron's price in the stock market began to dramatically decline. Both Skilling and Lane sold off their stock throughout 2001, anticipating the impending financial crisis that Enron would face. Towards the end of 2001, Enron were running out of steam and trying desperately to stay afloat.
Yeah, at that stage, their stock was only trading at $7 as compared to $80 to $90, which it was in the late 1990s. Their last resort was a proposed buyout by Dinergy, one of Enron's competitors, but however, the deal fell through after Dinergy became aware of the amount of debt that Enron had actually accumulated. After exhausting every possible way out of the debacle, Enron finally filed for bankruptcy on the 30th of November of 2001.
Wow, that's a lot of misrepresentation. The aftermath of the bankruptcy would have been quite significant. I know that Skilling was convicted on 19 of 28 counts of securities fraud and wire fraud and acquitted on the remaining 9, including charges of insider trading. He was sentenced to 24 years in prison for his actions, and that only recently his sentence was cut down by 10 years. But I wonder what happened to the others that were involved.
Well, as far as Fasto was concerned, he was also liable for Enron's failure. Fasto was convicted of fraud, wire fraud, money laundering, insider trading, securities fraud, producing false statements, and conspiracy. Quite a rap sheet. Fasto was sentenced to 6 years of imprisonment with 2 years of probation. His sentence was much smaller than Skilling's, as he agreed to become an informant to assist the authorities with the prosecutions of his former colleagues. Fasto pleaded guilty during his trial.
Lay was also blamed for the company's failure and was also investigated. On the 25th of May 2006, Lay was found guilty of all 6 counts of conspiracy and fraud by the jury. In a separate bench trial, Judge Lake ruled Lay was also guilty of 4 counts of fraud and making false statements. Lay passed away as a result of a heart attack before he could be sentenced. But I'm not too sure what happened to Anderson and how Enron changed the way people practice accounting today.
Well, during the Enron case, Anderson took steps into their own hands to try and remove themselves from being affiliated with what actually went wrong with Enron. They did this by destroying documents that they had related to Enron. Anderson was charged for knowingly, corruptly persuading another person to withhold or alter documents in an official proceeding.
Wow guys, the result of the Enron scandal led to significant changes in the financial and accounting community. This scandal had huge publicity in its time, and due to the impact it had, the IACPA made a few changes on the auditing standards. The 3 that appear to be similar are the SAS 96, 98 and 99. And the impact was also big enough to make President Bush to make a post-Enron plan, which the plan involved making disclosures in financial statements more informative and in the management's letter of representation. This therefore would increase the financial responsibilities for CEOs and accountants.
Another huge change was the introduction of the Sarbanes-Oxley Act, which was made due to cases similar to this one, although it was created right after the Enron case. This act means that high-level employees such as your CEO and your CFO will have a greater understanding of their companies, which has the aim of decreasing the possibility of fraud occurring.
This debacle led to the overstating of the company's performance, and with it went the jobs of thousands of employees and hundreds and thousands of dollars in employee savings, completely ruining people's finances.
Well, let's just hope that what went on at Enron doesn't happen again.
Yeah!